I tried to find out the economic impact of terror and terror financing. I have dealt anti-terrorism for a quite long time. We have never studied the economic impact properly and thoroughly. While surfing the net, I found one Institute for Economic and Peace, IEP, along with the US Homeland Security, they have conducted a study. And some of the initial slides are from that to just understand the overall scenario in the world. And then I'll come to specific to our country. See, India is one of the most affected countries from terrorism. And as studied by this particular institute, India ranks 8th in the world for the impact of terrorism. The other countries being Iraq, Afghanistan, Nigeria, Pakistan, Syria, Yemen, etc. Now it also gives account of how many terror attacks are there. And 7% of the terror attacks have been in our country. The casualty may be less as compared to other countries, but terror attacks are more, and it comes 4th in number of terror attacks. The various institutions which are affected by terrorism, at some places there is a direct attack on the police who are protecting against the terrorism. Then the army, the military forces, private citizens, the government institutions, the iconic places. These are the various places the terror attacks take place. Now, if we see the number of casualties, as far as the world as a whole is concerned, there are 4 organizations. The terrorist organizations, ISIS, okay, it is not about that, it is about how the number of casualties and deaths have increased with the passage of time. From 2000 onwards, the maximum deaths which have occurred in the world is 2014. And 2015 also, there are around 13,000, 12,500 deaths across the world because of terrorist activities. Now, these are the 4 organizations: Boko Haram in Nigeria, ISIL, Syria, Iraq, and now it is spreading to 28 countries. It has spread, and we have seen the recent case in India of ISIS also. Taliban and Al Qaeda. These are the main causes, main terrorist organizations which are causing the deaths in the world. Now I come to the specific topic: economic impact of terrorism. This is also taken from the same website. Now, how much money is being spent and by the various agencies, and what is the impact? It has come out to be around $89.6 billion. That's a huge amount, 6.06 lakh crore if we take in Indian currency. And if we see the Iraq itself, the impact of GDP is 17%. The tourism industry suffered by 50%. And then one has to put the economic resources of the country to counter terrorism. Now this slide starts off how much money is spent to counter it. And last year I told you $90 million. Starting from $8 million to $90 million, that has been the cost which has to be, which is the cost of the terrorism the world is facing. Coming back to India, last year in 2015, there have been 289 deaths, 501 people injured. There is a damage to property and 797 incidents. And from 2000 to 2015, the chart indicates the deaths. In 14, there is a stagnation, and 15, the number of deaths in India have come down. Thanks to the operations by the various agencies, intelligence as well as the agencies who are dealing with it. Now, if you come to the, what is the cost? Before that, I come to what is the Indian scenario. See, in India, we have in the northeastern region insurgencies. In the central region, we have the Naxal problems. The Kashmir, we have a problem, and then there is jihadi terrorism, which is sponsored by our neighboring country. Now, with this scenario, we come to what is the cost and how to calculate this cost. Property destruction. My predecessor has already told in 2611 what has happened and how much damage was there. Similarly, tourism industry. Only one fact I want to tell. After 2611, there was certain cricket series which was cancelled, and cost to BCCI was around 120 crore. Then there could be communal riots because of the terrorist activities. Like 1984. There was a huge loss to the economy because of that. The various terrorist organizations have tried, while they have put blasts in the religious places so that there is a communal riot in the country. But thanks to the maturity of our people, and particularly media, they have come to the aid and made the people understand that this is what the terrorist wants, that we should fight communally with each other. With each blast, that has not taken place. That would have been a huge cost. Then business activities in the area which is affected by terrorist activities, as rightly told by my predecessor, FDI will not come. Or if the FDI comes, it is found that the cost of FDI increases almost by 4 to 5%. And that makes the business less effective, less lucrative. Then the domestic capital also goes out. Where there is a peace, the capital will go there, businessmen will go there. They will never go to the place where there is insecurity. Then peacekeeping activities. One has to put the police forces, paramilitary forces to fight the terrorist activities. I remember in 97, 98, there were blast after blast in Delhi. And we have put all 80,000 police forces on the streets, which was still blasts were not preventable unless the terrorists were caught. So that is a cost the police forces have to put. We have to create new institutions. We have to create more forces in the new institutions. For example, energy. We have to place them at different places. The army has to be equipped more, to be placed at various places where terrorist activities are taking place. And similarly, peace building. The peacekeeping activities means there is an intervention. Peacekeeping is at the peace time how to prevent. If you go to any hotels today, each hotel has a security. The lifts have the security features. That is a cost to how to tackle the terrorist activities. And when there is any blast or anything or any terrorist activity, there is an investigation. There is a trial for that. There is a cost to that also. Unfortunately, in our country, there is no national consensus on terrorism. And whenever there is an encounter, there are people who start talking straight away from the day one that it is a fake account. And the people at the political level, at the top political level also start talking. And that gives the feeling among the masses there is something wrong. We need to have a national consensus on terrorism. The people should not speak without understanding what has happened. I remember in Batla House case, Delhi police lost an inspector and another head constable was injured badly. The whole Indian Mujahideen came into fore thereafter. But there were people at political level who were talking against it. That causes a lot of damage. Damage to action by the police forces and also unnecessary feeling among the masses that there is something wrong going on. Now, in case of terrorist funding, there are certain data which is available. Even the Osama's inheritance is of the tune of $300 million. Then there are wealthy Gulf citizens, they donate. That is about the tune of $16 million. There is a very good concept in Islam for giving charities, almost 2 to 2%, which is known as zakat. That is also misused. I will give you an example. In 98, Delhi police had arrested Abu Nasir. He was a Burmese national, was working in Pakistan, in India, in international Islamic organizations. They get money from various countries for the charities, and then it has to be used for charities. This Abu Nasir, during interrogation, told us that he has been distributing these funds in the camps where terrorists are being trained. And almost he gives the description of all the camps in the Pakistan and Afghanistan. Now, if this money goes for terrorist purposes, certainly that is not correct. Then there are criminal activities. Smuggling, counterfeit of currencies. A lot of currencies were printed by the nation itself of Indian currencies, and then coming to India through Bangladesh and Nepal. Narco trade in Afghanistan, opium trade is taking place. The money is used for terrorist purposes. Extortion. If you go to the northeastern states, the insurgents are extorting from businessmen. For almost every economic activities they are extorting. And I have been told, not confirmed, that some of the government officials are also paying the protection money in those areas. There is one person known as Amir Raza Khan. He hailed from Calcutta. He was involved in the kidnapping for ransom, along with one Aftab Ansari. Now, Aftab Ansari was caught, but this Asif Raja Khan went to Bangladesh and then to Pakistan. His younger brother Amir Raza Khan was killed in an encounter while he was pursuing terrorism. Now, this person was responsible, was fled to Pakistan, was responsible for creating Indian Mujahideen. You can see how the terrorist funding by criminal activities can give money to the people. And I'll tell you frankly that the terrorists who come to India, they don't require much money to act. Because they have been taught the concept of Iran, the concept of Quran wrongly. In 98, we had caught one person, Kamran. There were 42 blasts in Delhi. So he confessed, the day he was arrested, he confessed 18 blasts. And he says that he doesn't know about anything else. So in 11th day of his interrogation, he was asked that you are the only person who talked to Abdul Karim Tuna in Pakistan, nobody else. Then he says, sir, I want to talk to a person who is well versed in Quran. He was taken there, he discussed with the person, and then he came back and gave more details where various people all over India were caught. So this is a concept where people are misguided and they have to be brought to in the right direction. Only two takeaway I will request. Number one is, we should have some study on how to find out and to study in our country the economic impact of terrorism, which is not existing. And secondly, there should be national consensus on terrorism. Thank you so much.